Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me again for this next video. I'm Professor McAllister. This is episode 5, recipes. And this time I did something differently. I actually recorded a video yesterday to be released today, and I combined recipes and maps. But it was so confusing. I deleted that video and I decided to present this episode using a PowerPoint presentation. And I also decided to focus strictly on recipes because I really want to make sure you understand. My next video will be about maps. So let's get started. There are 3 different types of recipe questions. There's a type that asks, what is the first thing that needs to be done? There's another type that asks, what should be done before a specific step? And with these two types, these first 2 that I just mentioned, it's very important that you read the question carefully so you will know what it's asking and so you'll know how to approach solving it. Lastly, make sure you are familiar with different words that describe an action and words that pertain to recipes. I guess it's real important that you know how to read a recipe if you want to be a nurse. So let's look at the first type. The first type asks, what is the first thing that needs to be done? So for example, what is the first thing that needs to be done in the recipe? Okay, so here's a recipe, spaghetti sauce with ground beef. You see ingredients listed and you see directions listed. When you are asked what is the first thing that needs to be done in the recipe, first look at the ingredients. If there is an ingredient that needs to be prepared in advance, such as beans rinsed, onions chopped, or eggs beaten, then choose the first ingredient on the list that needs to be prepped. So in this instance, our choices are A, brown ground beef with onion, garlic, and green pepper in a large saucepan. B, drain grease. C, 1 onion chopped. Or D, stir in diced tomatoes. Okay, let's look at the ingredients again. It's asking what is the first thing that needs to be done. So we know we go straight to the ingredients and look, the second item on the list, onion, 1 onion, it has to be chopped before you can use it. Therefore, that would be our correct answer. Again, we see that the onion chopped is the first thing on the ingredients list that needs to be prepared in advance. Therefore, the correct answer would be 1 onion chopped. Another kind of question that you might get on a recipe asks what should be done before a specific step. So, for example, what should be done before cutting the dough? Here's a recipe for German butter cookies. You see the list of ingredients and you see the steps. So let's see the question again. What should be done before cutting the cookies? In order to answer that question, first, find the step that is part of the question, and in this case, cutting the cookies. Then, find the step that comes immediately before cutting the cookies. And our choices will be A, whisk together the flours, salt, and zest. B, add the egg yolks. C, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Or D, roll out the dough to 1/4 inch thickness. Here are the steps again. And if you look down to number 5, you will see roll out the dough to 1/4 inch thickness and cut as desired. So we just noted that before you cut the cookies, you should roll the dough to 1/4 inch thickness. And therefore, the correct answer would be roll out the dough to 1/4 inch thickness. Lastly, make sure you are familiar with different words that describe an action as they relate to cooking. So, for example, what does the word saute mean? So here's that recipe again for spaghetti sauce with ground beef. And if you look, the first step says saute ground beef with onion, garlic, and green pepper in a large saucepan. So there's saute. What does the word saute mean? Our choices are to chop, to cook, to brown, and to drain. Saute means to cook the meat quickly over high heat. And actually, that's very similar to what brown means, to brown the meat. But to saute means to cook the meat quickly over high heat. So let's review what we just discussed about recipes. There are 3 different types of questions that could be asked about the recipe. The first one asks, what is the first thing that needs to be done? And we're going to remember to always check the ingredients list and see if there's an item that needs to be prepped in advance, like an onion chopped or beans rinsed. Another type asks what should be done before a specific step. In that case, we find that specific step in the directions and we back up one step to find out what needs to be done before. And lastly, be sure that you are familiar with different words that describe an action. And one more note. I've been monitoring the comments in the Tease study group on Facebook, and there have been a lot of questions about whether or not a recipe is expository, descriptive, or technical. I don't think technical is even an option on the Tease. I don't even think descriptive will be, although I'm not sure. But the correct answer would be a recipe is expository. Episode 6 will be about maps. And remember, keep your eyes on the prize. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again with you real soon.
Hi, thanks for watching my video. If you found my video helpful, please indicate it by hitting the like button. You're also welcome to leave any questions or comments down below. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you'll receive notification of all my future videos. Thank you.